Hello, everybody in YouTube land. It's been a while. I wish I had a better excuse for it being so long since I uploaded a review, but alas, I don't. I know it's been quite some time, like almost a year. So, I figure it's about time to upload another review. And on today, we're going to be reviewing the new album from the almighty Arsis. This being Arsis's Unwelcome. If you're not already familiar with who Arsis is, they're a melodic technical death metal band hailing from Virginia. They're a band that, to me, it's either you either love or hate. I either run people that typically don't like Arsis, or they do. First off, if you want to get into them, you already kind of have to be into melodic death metal and technical death metal. They're a very in-your-face band. They sometimes can get a little repetitive after a while with constant blast beats and super fast-paced songs. There's not too much variation, but they do a style of metal and their style of death metal that I personally enjoy. There's definitely elements from the melodic, technical, and even some good thrash to throw in there. There's very mid 80s thrash in there, which I really like. It breaks it up from just being constant. And they very much do that style on this album again. They definitely have a little bit better production value on Unwelcome than, say, some of their earlier albums like Diamond of Disease or A Celebration of Guilt, which are both incredible albums. But we're talking about Unwelcome. So, Unwelcome's 10 tracks, 11 if you get the edition I have, which is actually a re-recording of The Face of Innocence, which is track 1 off of as A Celebration of Guilt, I'm sorry. The album starts off with Unwelcome, the song. To me, that's actually probably the weakest song off the album. I personally would have chosen a different song to open the album with. I feel like it could have just started right off with track 2, which is Carve My Cross, which is one of the singles or whatever from this album. It has a video to it. And to me, that song just, as soon as that song hits, it's probably one of my favorite songs off the album. It just sits and it rips your face off. It has parts that are super in your face, real, extremely fast, super technical, but there's these mid sections in that song that have these melodies in it that I really enjoy, which brings that song from just being a killer super fast track to a whole nother it just develops into a whole other level where it's like, whoa, this band really is up to some cool stuff. It separates them from, say, just your average death metal band or extreme metal band, if you will. The album definitely does this for a while. Handbook for the Recently Deceased has a pretty interesting little, not clean, but slower pace intro. It's definitely a neat kind of mix right after Carve My Cross, because you get Unwelcome, Carve My Cross, and then you get this nice kind of easy-going intro to that song, so it kind of breaks it up a little bit. One thing I have to say that threw me off a lot about this album, because for some reason I didn't notice it when I bought it, and I just popped it into my CD player, is track 6 is a cover of the Corey Hart song, Sunglasses at Night, which is kind of like, if you really ever wanted to hear what a Arsis would do with a kind of like new wave band from the 80s, it's kind of like, this is different. Most of the song doesn't have any similarity to the original version. The intro sounds similar, but I mean, as soon as the intro is done, it's pretty much like, oh, this is very much Arsis doing what Arsis does all the time. my biggest issue with this album, which is going to be my biggest issue with almost every Arsis album, is the fact that it becomes very repetitive. It's very repetitious. The songs are extremely fast-paced. They have, the same kind of like sweet picking solos, melodic little parts, and then super fast, in your face. So the parts where it does get a little bit slower, more melodic, and they do something a little bit different, I personally enjoy because it's not just non-stop in your face the whole time. But I mean, the in your face parts they do exceptionally well, and especially on this album, I very much think this is probably one of the better depictions we have of Arsis. One of my favorite things off this album is James Malone's guitar playing and his vocals. That guy's a fucking monster. I think he's one of probably the most underrated guitarists in heavy metal. Maybe it's just me. I personally enjoy his style of, it's not super down-tuned and like heavy. It's almost more trebly, more melodic, and he's definitely has some real good chops. But there's a lot of theory going on with it. And what his vocals are, instead of being like a traditional, like low, like guttural John Gallagher corpse grinder kind of style of vocals, it's this mid to high pitched, like screamy snarl he has to it. And it's not like a black metal style of screaming. It's different. It almost sounds like this dude just broke in your house and he's fucking gonna kill you because you slept with his wife or something. He just sounds hateful. It's just these hateful vocals. Like, they just come at you and you feel like you're gonna die when you hear them. But it works exceptionally well for this band. And this album is very much what we would expect from an Arsis album. I mean, if you're familiar with their earlier material, you're probably not going to be too shocked by this. Or too, like, thrown off, like, whoa, super different. But yet again, if this is the first album you picked up for Arsis, definitely go check out their back stuff. Me personally, this is a solid album. It is definitely not my like album of the year, but I really enjoy it for what it is. It's got some depth to it, but there's some parts of it that are very much face value. The first time you hear them, you pretty much got where this song's going. I really enjoyed it when I got it though. I had it in my CD player for quite some time and listened to it every day and really enjoyed it for a very long time. And I want to take this one time, my edition of the Arsis album, I'm just going to bitch about it real quick because I get a chance to. I have no clue if anybody who's actually going to watch this is going to feel the same way. The packaging on this album is awful. Nuclear Blast has done this on this and the new Immolation album. And it's nice album art, by the way, but it's this thin little cardboard thing. And I mean, yeah, not cardboard like a digipack special edition. No, it's just cardboard. There's a sleeve here for the CD, and a sleeve here for the insert. Literally, it's just cardboard. So if you can get, maybe there's like a special edition that's like a digipack, I mean like a jewel case, or maybe a digipack version of it, definitely go out and get that. To me, that would be so much nicer, because I like owning the physical product. I'm really big into that. And when I spend my like $15 or whatever, I expect to have something, more like a little more substantial than this flimsy little piece of cardboard. Well, anyway, I'm sorry it's been a while for my reviews, and yeah, this probably wasn't the best review. It's been quite some time. But if you watched, thanks for watching. Keep it metal. Support Arsis. They're an amazing technical death metal band. For fans of extreme music, extreme thrash, melodic death metal, technical death metal, check these guys out. They're amazing.